Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, and today's video will be doing a review on Starfire Eternal Cycle, so let's get into it. Now this is a fast-paced roguelike side-scrolling beat-em-up set in an apocalyptic world where bug-like creatures have pinned down humanity and the few remaining humans are trying to survive and fight back, and you'll play as one of these remaining survivors in hopes of pushing back the bug invasion and saving humanity. And like I said, this is primarily focused around side-scrolling beat-em-up action, but it does have incredibly tight controls and addictive roguelike elements. And so you'll start off your runs by choosing what weapon type you want to utilize, and there's a variety to choose from. And it can be things like electric charged fists, fire guns, earth axes, and much more. You'll also then choose what difficulty level you want to take on in your run, and the easier runs will be limited to fewer stages, allowing you to return to your base quicker and utilize various permanent upgrades using resources you've gathered throughout your run. But again, you can also take on a challenging difficulty to try and make it through more enemy levels and bosses in hopes of gaining better rewards. Now when it comes to the different elemental types, this is pretty cool where each weapon, as I mentioned, has these different types. And this will unleash special unique powers based on the elemental ability your weapon has. So some of them can be things like fire-based explosions, ice shots that will slow down enemies, thunder abilities that can deal additional damage, and much more. On top of that, I thought that each weapon really had a unique feel to them and different play styles. So for example, if you're using the fast-paced electric fists, attacks will be much quicker but highly melee focused, so you really need to get up close and personal with enemies. But then there's also weapons like the fire guns, which are more range based and much slower, and so you'll need to do a better job of avoiding enemies. Now with this, combat focuses on several different aspects. So you have a main attack, you have a heavy attack that will charge up over time. You also have a rage based attack, which is more of an intense specialty attack. And this has different degrees of levels that will charge up over time. And if you let all three bars charge up, you can also unleash an ultimate attack based around the specific weapon you're using. And these are unique to each weapon as well. And so you'll need to effectively utilize this at the right times, helping you to take out different things like elite enemies, massive groups of enemies, or saving it up for boss fights to deal massive damage in one big hit. Now the roguelike elements really come into play in a variety of different ways. First off, throughout each run, you'll be picking what type of power-up you want to acquire after each arena. And so before you go to the next stage, you'll have a choice of what types of power-ups you'd like to acquire for clearing that next stage. And so this can be things like permanent health upgrades, extra gold, insectoid cores that you can equip, different equipable items that permanently boost abilities for your character, visiting the shop to buy more items, or more like rest points to heal your character. And so one thing I mentioned was these insectoid cores, and these are pretty cool as they'll be able to grant you different ability buffs, and this can be things like dealing extra damage, increasing your critical hit rate, boosting your max HP, giving you more experience points for defeating enemies, upping your weapon damage, adding elemental powers, and much more. And so you'll be able to equip several of these to your hero. But on top of that, these can actually stack together if they happen to be the same elemental type. And so I thought that was cool to give you additional bonuses. But again, you also have the opportunity to mix and match different powers, giving you a variety of elemental abilities, all working together. Another cool aspect to this is that these insectoid cores have different rarity types, and so as they get more rare, they acquire additional abilities stacking on top of each other. And if you happen to visit the store sections, you can actually combine rarity levels, giving you even better cores to add to your hero. Again, these spaces are limited, so you'll need to strategically choose what cores you want to have. But again, I thought this was cool that you could upgrade them throughout your run, mix and match, and really upgrade your abilities to fit your playstyle. You'll also be finding different equipable items, and these will give you additional abilities as well. And these can be upgraded as well. And so if you get the same type of equipment over and over again, that's basically how these level up and get more powerful. On top of that, you can even level up your character throughout the run. So as you defeat enemies, you'll be gaining experience and then given a choice of how you want to level up your character. And so this could be things like increasing weapon damage, adding to the effectiveness of your elemental abilities from your weapon, and some of them can even be unique to the specific weapon you're using. So for example, when I was using a gun weapon, it gave me the option to power up shooting range as an option, where that wasn't a thing when I was using melee type weapons. And so you've got a lot of different options, again, that you can customize and mix and match to fit your build for the specific run, which I thought was really cool. Now, I will say the levels were kind of basic and almost just a straight line for the most part. And so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but at the same time, there's a lot of enemies on screen, a lot of variety of enemy types, and the gameplay is incredibly fast paced. So the first few stages I was worried about that, but as things progressed and got a lot more intense and a lot more enemies on screen, I never really seemed to notice that most of the levels were just this straight line aspect. And so the more I got into it, I didn't really pay attention to it that much. Now, since it is a roguelike, there is a little bit of repetitive nature to it where you will be going through the same stage types over and over again, but there are challenging bosses to take on at the end of each level. I felt like these bosses did play quite different. They also had a little cool cutscene before you take them on as well. And if you manage to defeat them, you'll get more powerful items that you can utilize to give your character permanent upgrades at the start of the next run. And speaking of those permanent upgrades, there's some cool progression options that will help you from run to run. And if you acquire enough resources, you'll be able to purchase these to enhance your character before the next run. And so this can be things like increasing your starting health, having more gold to start off with, increasing the amount your character heals between stages, how many equipable insectoid cores you can have, and unlocking new weapon types as well. I think this really adds to the replay value, always giving you that sense of progression. And again, with those different weapon type options really feeling completely different and the option to have very different builds from run to run, I think that adds to the replay value as well. Again, I think this game was incredibly addictive and I really liked how fast the progression happened in the game. That's one thing I think that roguelike games can sometimes get wrong. They maybe have progression, but it's way too slow. Or there's progression and there's just not enough options, so it doesn't really feel unique throughout your builds. But this one, I think it had a good balance of both, where you were leveling up, you had insectoid cores you could equip, you had equipment types you could use, there's different weapon types, you have different options for leveling yourself up, leveling up the cores, combining cores, and much more. And so there's a big variety with that, which gives you a lot of flexibility with your build, which I liked. And since combat was super fast paced, this was another great addition as well, where I thought it might have been like a slower style beat 'em up, but this kept it incredibly fast paced and you needed to be on your toes all the time. One thing I'll also say is that the story wasn't too in-depth. You'd really only find little bits and pieces of memory cores throughout your runs, and these were almost just like little log entries versus a fleshed out story. And so if you're looking for more of an in-depth story, that's not really part of this game. But again, I don't really think that's a deal breaker, as the combat was really enjoyable, the progression system was a lot of fun, and overall the gameplay is what kept me coming back for more. And so I think if you like fast-paced beat 'em ups, addictive roguelike action, and an apocalyptic future setting, I definitely recommend checking this game out. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you picked this one up yet? Are you checking this one out? Does it look like a lot of fun? Are there other great roguelike beat 'em up games I should be checking out as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And another really cool way you can help support the channel is we actually partnered with a game store, Nutmeg Games. So if you like board games, Pokemon cards, Magic cards, and more, be sure to head to nutmeggames.com/nerdproblemsgaming and use our promo code nerdproblemsgaming at checkout. You'll get 10% off your order and help support the channel at the same time. So if you want to take advantage of those great deals, be sure to head there as well. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.